Alright, hello and welcome to the Indoor Micro channel. This is my channel for my indoor micro growing in a grow tent. And today I'm going to show you guys what I feel is my favorite seed starting method and system. And also I'm going to show you how to make a miniature wick system, a hydroponic wick system, using these. And these are, you can get them, where are we at here, from the dollar store or anywhere. All they are is basically they're a disposable shot glass. And you can see here, I don't know if you can see, but these are 2-ounce cups basically, and they measure 2 inches by 2 inches down. And these are my absolute favorite seed starting pots. And the only thing that I do to modify them is I will show you, and if you have access to one of these, is a soldering gun or a soldering iron, and it is hot. I just burnt my finger, damn it. All I do for these is I put one hole directly in the middle of the pot, and I kind of wallow it out a little bit, and there it is. There's a perfect little hole in the bottom of your cup, and now that makes an ideal seed starting cup. You know, it's small, you can start numerous ones or one, you know, and you don't have to use an entire seed starting tray. And you can use these, put these in anything as a humidity dome, any kind of container, a plastic bag can cover it. They're small enough, you know, any way you want to do it. And now, you know, that's all I do, is I put the one hole in the bottom, because I think that's sufficient. Because once, you know, if you decide by any chance to actually grow a plant longer in these, which I think is fun to do, you know, for like micro growing, you want it to hold more water, so one hole is good. But you could alternately, you could put, you know, holes around the base, around the sides, to allow more air into this little pot. You know, that's simply by choice. And now if you don't have a soldering iron, you know, just by any means, you can make a hole in the bottom of it about that size, a little less than the diameter of a big pen probably, or a ballpoint pen. But I found that the best way is a soldering iron. Another way to do it would be to heat up a nail with a lighter and maybe just kind of poke a hole and move it around a little bit to make the hole a little bigger. So yeah, that's all there is to doing that. So let me unplug this soldering iron. And you know, I actually have, I think that's the only one that I have made right now. But the best thing to use, and I've used this several times, is one of these Sterilite hinged containers, and they're perfectly clear. And you can open this, and you can put, you know, say you only got one plant to start, you just put one in there. Or maybe you have multiple, and you can put as many as you want, each one a different plant, all the same plant, whatever seeds you're starting. And you can fit a good number of pots in here. I mean, if you crammed them, you could fit, you know, a very good amount, at least 12 or 15. And you know, it works so good because the plants, this box will keep them humid, it will keep the environment humid, and you don't even ever have to really open it other than to allow a little bit of air in there, you know, to let them breathe a little bit. And these things just work so awesome. And I'll show you guys how I use it later on, but right now I'm just showing the basic idea behind it. You know, this is how I've started all my seeds that I have in my grow tent right now. So this works awesome. And the other thing I'm going to actually show you guys how to build is the Wick system using these same size cups. And all you got to find is a container, you know, any container that, you know, these are 2 inches deep or long, and that will go to here from the lid. So anything that is at least, I'd say, 3 or 4 inches optimal would be great for the reservoir for the wick system. And when they hang, you know, they'll be about there, and then your wick will go down into the nutrient solution or water or whatever you have. So all you need for this is a reservoir, a small container. It can be as big or as small as you want. I like to keep it pretty small for this purpose. I'm just going to probably put some herb seeds in there. And you'll need a towel. I have this towel already handy, and I already have cut. You want to cut in some strips, just some these are about 1-inch strips by about 6 inches. And what you're going to do with those is you're going to insert them into the bottom. And the reason I like using the soldering iron with these, and you just roll them up tight, is it makes a tight hole and you don't have to use a knot on the inside of the pot. This one might be, I don't know if this one might be really tight. I didn't ream this hole out very much, but just get it in there, get it started, get it part of the way into the hole. Once it's in there far enough, you can, without trying to destroy the cup, which these things are pretty sturdy. I mean, you can reuse these almost forever, which is a beauty of it. And they're only $1 for a whole pack of 20. So that is really cheap and very reusable seed starting pot without the use of, you know, one of them gigantic seed starting trays, or even the smaller ones can be expensive. So what you do, what I like to do, and I do it a little different than some people, I pull this out enough that when I lay it down, it pretty much covers the bottom of the pot. So that should do it, because I don't put a knot in it and try to surround it. I just let it rest on the bottom. And what that's going to do is allow a wicking action from the nutrient solution up into the pot, and it will keep the soil that you have inside this cup at an even moisture level. So you'll never have to water it. You'll have to refill your reservoir every so often and clean it and whatnot. But it's minimal work to grow them. You don't have to water them regularly and everything. So once you have that made, and I actually already had a couple others made here, so I'm going to put 3 of them in this little system, just like that. There's 3. And all I'm going to do, I'm not going to do this perfectly. What I'm going to do is kind of just lay them out. Let me use a pot without a string in it first. Kind of lay these out on the center of where you want them. Just kind of do it by eye is all I do. I don't need to make them perfect. And for these cups, I've found that a 1 3/4 inch hole saw works perfect. Now this might be the only thing that you have to really acquire to make these, because you really need a perfect hole. At least, I mean, I'm sure you could probably cut it with a razor blade if you're really careful, but this works excellent. And this will allow the pot, you can see I can enter it inside there. It will have enough of a lip to rest and not pull through from the weight of the plant. So once you get them lined up, just kind of eyeball them the best you can. And then how I do it is I start here and I just move to the center, what looks like the best point of center, and eyeball it a little bit more. To me that looks good. And then just start your drill. And it will drill a pilot hole first with the hole saw. Careful not to push too hard on plastic, because you can crack the plastic if you're pushing too hard on the initial drilling. So kind of just take it easy a little bit with the pressure. And then all you do, kind of wobble the drill around so the teeth make contact on all sides. Drill your hole. And again, this can be a little bit messy, so if you want to do it outside in a workshop or whatever, you can. I'm doing it in my basement because I'm not real worried about it. But we're going to go ahead and well, let's do the center one first. Let me see if I'm level. Just about perfect, I think. We'll do another one. Just putting a little bit of pressure on it as not to crack the plastic. And once your pilot hole's through, there you go. Good. Once the pilot hole's through. Okay. That's 2 of the 3. And again, depending on the size of your reservoir, you can put as many of these as you want. Okay, and one more. We'll just kind of eye it up here. It looks about right to look. Just eyeing it the best I can. Try not to be too dramatically off. So I think that'll work if I can quit from moving here. Alright, last hole. Alright, we'll just set that to the side. As you can see, there's a little bit of plastic dust everywhere. Okay, so that makes your 3 holes. This one was a little off center. And all you're going to do is take your things, set them into there, and they kind of, these ones are nice. They have a ridge, and these ones actually kind of click into place. It's really cool. Put them all in there. Little off, little crooked, but you get the idea. I'm sure some of you can do better straight, more straight than that. And now, this one you can't really see too well underneath, but there's quite a bit of excess wick, or excess, all I used was terry cloth, so it's a little bit too long, I think, because when you set it down, you don't want a whole ton of it in the water. So I'm going to shorten these up a little bit, since my reservoir isn't very deep. I'll cut maybe 1.5 inches off. So you do want it to soak up a good amount of water, but not overly saturate the medium you're growing in. So that's a little better for me. And then once you have it like that, you're done. And now all you have to do is add your soil. And again, you don't have to worry about surrounding this and letting this stick up. You don't want to, not in my opinion. So I just push it to the bottom like this. Push it to the bottom, and make sure you have enough pulled through to where it, you get enough in there. And fill it with soil. And then when you fill the reservoir, you're going to fill it to where it's about, to where it's actually, the water is not touching the pot. So you want to fill it maybe 1/2 inch or more, if you can, below the actual cup, just so the cup itself isn't sitting in the water, because that will oversaturate it. And that's basically it. That's just the mini wick system. I plan on using this for maybe some herbs, or I don't know, I might put some pepper plants in here. I'm not real sure yet. So basically that's it. That's the wick system, and these are the in my opinion, the best seed starting pots you can get, and they're cheap, and they're reusable for a very long time. I mean, you can wash these things out, and also when your plant begins to grow, if you decide to pull it out of here, all you got to do is squeeze it a little bit once it's got some roots, and it'll slide right out. They work excellent, and I love them. I'm glad I found them and I thought of this idea, and I wanted to share that with fellow growers, whether you grow indoors like I do in a grow tent, or whatever your case may be. It works excellent. So there's the seed starting method, and there's the miniature wick system. And I'll try to show some footage after I make this video of this in action, and I might tail it on to the end of this video after I'm done and edit it together, or I may post this video alone and show that in a separate video later on. I'll have to decide that, but yeah, that's it. These things cost $1, and you get 20 of them, And this is like a couple bucks. This I got at a Dollar Tree for $1. You know, you can use anything that's similar, or you know, use your imagination. And once again, probably the most important tool I think for this is this hole saw that you put on the drill. This is, again, it's a 1 3/4 inch hole saw, and it just makes things so much more neat, and it works a lot better. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. Again, I'll be making more videos. I hope to get my video up of my DWC system soon that I plan to sell on eBay. I'm still growing some plants in it right now to show the full capabilities of it or whatever. So yeah, there it is. Thanks for watching.